record on this computer. Yes, ma'am. We are ready to proceed. Masters, but please listen to that book. This is by Dolores Cannon's daughter, Julia Cannon, and very useful for our unified meditation also. Don't miss it. Yeah. So we gave a sample till now. She talks about how we get messages, how we end up missing the messages, all that which can help those people who are in trying to communicate with the over self and all. Yeah. So let's continue, ma'am.
In its perfect body, the doer thus became acquainted first with the light, then with the life, then with the form, and lastly with the physical world. Okay, and it became the duty of the doer to make the connection between outside nature and nature in the perfect body.
Okay, now
It aroused
what we read till now, those who have attended, is also in a similar manner, but only thing is there she is communicating about our self-hypnosis and how we keep getting the messages between the higher self and ourselves. That means outside us and inside us. Yeah. Let's continue.
Yeah. It aroused the organs in the head and connected them with the planes of the light world from the light plane of the physical world through sight and its generative system. And the doer was in the light world and sensed the harmonies of the light world within the lower worlds. It aroused and connected the organs of the thorax with the planes of the light world from the light plane of the physical world through hearing and its respiratory system. And the doer was in the life world and contemplated the activities of the life world in itself and within the form and physical world. So basically the same thing he is saying.
Correct.
How, like,
what we discussed, right? It comes into that, that clarity, then slowly it will descend.
Different. How each, connected to different system. Okay, it aroused and connected the organs of the circulatory system with the planes of the form world from the form plane of the physical world through taste and its circulatory system. And the doer was in the form world and gave the attention to the mingling of the elements and the forms. It aroused and connected the organs of the pelvic cavity with the planes of the physical world from the physical plane of the physical world through smell and its digestive system. And the doer was in
what he is trying to say is smell is associated with digestive system. So that is how that triggered the heart, the circulatory system is associated with air. So that air part came into picture. The respiratory system is with smell or the other way around, right? Which one is smell?
Yeah.
Respiratory is smell. That's what I remember. Thorax.
Taste is also there.
Circulatory is the taste.
And then thorax is the taste. Here is smell, right?
Respiratory, respiratory is the
hearing.
Mingling.
The doer contemplated. So hearing is the respiratory system.
Respiratory and hearing.
Correct.
You can.
Sight is the generative system. Sight is the generative system. Hearing is the respiratory system. Taste is the circulatory system. And feeling, I think, right? It arouses and connected. Smell. Smell is the digestive system. That is how the four organs are. I mean, four, what do you call, the sense organs are getting triggered.
Yeah. Okay, it aroused and connected the organs of pelvic cavity with the planes of the physical world from the physical plane of the through smell and its digestive system. And the doer was in the physical world and brought together the physical planes of the world with other worlds with the physical plane of the physical world and were adjusted on the physical plane in its own physical body in the realm of permanence. The doer was so related to the perfect body that it and the thinker and knower of the triune self could later act freely in all the three worlds, in all of the worlds, and that it could exercise the powers of any world in that world through the systems and the organ in its fourfold body.
Correct.
In this body, it was familiar and had contact with all states of matter in the physical world.
Hmm.
In its physical body, it could be present in all of the four zones and states of matter of the physical plane. The doer in its perfect two-columned body could perceive beings in the zones and in the bodies of the zones, for the light of the intelligence was with it. These beings were of the fire, the air, the water, and the earth, and beings made up of combinations of them. There were beings who were fixed in the bodies of the zones, beings who could move about in the bodies of the zones, and beings who could move freely in the zones or their bodies. They freely move in the zones or their bodies or through any of the zones and bodies going from one to the other.
Hmm. Okay, now here, what is the two-columned body?
The nature and
Exactly.
um,
The nature and
intelligence.
intelligent side of the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
The doer perceived that the great difference between all these beings was that some had and others did not have the light of intelligence.
Correct.
Among those who did not have such light, there were beings of greatness and power who could do things which the doer had not the understanding to do. But these things were done by means of the light furnished to those who had it.
Correct. So now here, the light furnished to this one, we could also replace it with the intuitive reading or the messages that they were able to sense.
Hmm.
That is what we are learning in the next book that we were reading till now. The Julia Dollar, the Cannon's book. Yeah.
How to follow the intuitions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It perceived that the passage of the matter of the zones and in the bodies therein, and the changes brought about in them were done by various beings without the light, by thinking of those who had it, and that it was among those who had the light.
Right.
What is this? It perceived the passage of the matter of the zones
No.
and bodies
Was
therein.
he saying he is talking about the doer in its perfect two-columned body? Perfect two-columned body. Could perceive beings in the zones. What are the four zones? Thoracic, right? I mean, cranial, thoracic, abdominal, and pelvic.
Yeah.
Right? And the four zones can also be related to the external ones: noetic plane, mental plane, psychic plane, physical plane.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 4 words.
Correct. So now what is he saying? Could perceive beings in the zones and in the bodies of the zones. The mental body, the emotion, the psychic body, and so on, right? For
Yes.
the light of its intelligence was in it. The doer's light of intelligence was in it. Okay.
Hmm.
These beings were of the fire, the air, the water, and the earth, and beings made up of combination of them, obviously.
Yes.
Right? There were beings who were fixed in the bodies of the zones. Some of them are fixed. Okay. Beings who could move about in the bodies of the zones, and beings who could move freely in the zones or their bodies through any of the zones and bodies. That means they could move wherever they went. Some were restricted in their movement to that particular zone, right? That is like he explained the organs and their environment and all that, remember. The link one, then it was in the form, then it was in the light, and so on, right? So all
Yes.
those he is talking about, he is repeating the same thing here.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So here, when he says the beings,
they are all the elementals with the breath form and all that. The link cells, the units. Okay. Who is frozen? Am I frozen or? Yeah. Okay. Right? The doer perceived that the great difference between all these beings was that some had and others did not have the light of intelligence. That is how the doer is perceiving them. Okay. Among those who did not have such light, there were beings of greatness and power who could do things which the doer had not the understanding to do. But these things were done by means of the light furnished to those who had it. That means some who had the light, they knew what to do, maybe beyond the control of the doer. So one way I could interpret is the way the involuntary system in the body is going to act is going to be part of this, because they know what to do.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Without putting much.
Correct. Right? It perceived that the passage of the matter of the zones and in the bodies therein and the changes brought about in them were done by various beings without the light, by the thinking of those who had it. So here he is focusing on the involuntary part. Okay. Who had it, and that it was among those who had the light. So it is able to perceive that. The doer. Right? So that is what he is explaining. Some of them didn't have, some of them had. It is able to perceive that action also. Right? The doer perceived that there were differences between those who had the light, that the differences were in the stage of development of the doer. Correct?
Yeah.
And that there were those who had to do with the matter of the zones on the planes of the physical world, and thus those who had to do with the worlds beyond the physical. So it's able to perceive all that basically. Am I missing
So basically,
anything, sir?
not only on the physical level, they also can do beyond the physical.
Correct. I mean, that's the way I understood. Sir, was I missing anything? Jagdish sir.
I think you're on mute. You are on
Yeah.
mute, sir.
Mute,
No,
sir.
yeah, I got it. So, no, you are right. Except that, in addition, I would say this also talks about quite often we do things because we don't know. As a
Correct.
doer, we don't know that we are capable of things and we do things. That's what it implies.
Right. Yeah. So, ma'am, we can continue from here. Among those who had to do with the matter,
Oh, among those who had to do with the matter of the zones were others like itself. other itself, who observed but took no part in the working of the matter.
Hmm.
Yeah. During all these times, the doer knew no evil, no sin, no sorrow, no death.
Correct.
It knew only the good and perceived the working of laws as a harmonious whole.
Correct.
All this is while the triune self, which had been raised from the state of AIA, was in its perfect immortal two-column body in the realm of permanence, and prior to the trial test, which its doer part must undergo, of bringing feeling and desire into a balanced union, which test the doer must successfully pass in order to take charge of and operate the
Operate.
perfect body and to advance according to the eternal order of progression as alluded to previously.
Correct. That was discussed, right?
I think Percival should have gone through a Martin grammar school
Correct.
to teach how to keep it simple and short
I know.
sentences. He used too many
He was
copies.
not told about
Say-
gifts.
He
No
should have
one
been
taught him
broken into
about
three
gifts.
sentences. Yes, this should have been broken into three sentences, not one sentence.
That
know.
would have made it easier for us to
He didn't
understand.
understand the difference between a sentence and a paragraph.
Correct.
The compound
Oh,
statements.
we used to carry this Renan Martin, huge book.
I
I have
know.
to carry it every day to
I
school.
know. So,
Probably that's how he heard. I mean, that's what he says, right? He proclaims that he heard it.
Correct, that's true. That is correct.
So that's
He's
how he
trying to
heard,
just
he just recorded. I don't think he was even capable of completely understanding and then splitting into the sentences at the time
Possible.
the flow was
That-
coming to him.
Yes,
this looks
possible.
more
That's
like
why it takes so
channeled
much time to
content.
explain over and over again. He tries to explain.
Right.
That's the reason.
And probably that's the way those people communicated to him as we go through the books.
No, I think,
Correct.
see, if you read his editorials, they are very cryptic and clear.
That's
But
what
when he put all of that content together and tried to create one book out of it, he also got lost. And he's teaching us English thereby.
I don't know. I don't know whether we are learning English from
No,
this.
Sir, this is
No.
making the book
One thing I
challenging.
understand. I don't know. At least from this book, we are learning one thing, and which is how to understand the book.
Correct.
So we usually get caught in the words, trapped in
Correct.
words,
Correct.
and words have different contexts and different meanings.
Oh,
We should
yeah.
understand what is that. That's what they say. No, good reading is when you feel what is being done.
Yes.
You don't just hear or read with the eyes, with your whole
Correct.
body. You must understand. That is what is trying to help us. I think
And
that way.
it makes us reread the sentences.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, main thing
I
to
think
understand
what we
what is
read in the other book, draw it.
Mm.
Draw it is the loud message that he is giving us. Yeah.
desire became
Correct.
desire became it was a harmless desire. The doer wanted to take part in doing what it saw going on. It wanted to express itself by acting in the forms and with the forces of nature.
Mm.
The doer so easily and clearly, and its thoughts were at
No,
once
the
exteriorized.
doer thought easily and clearly, and it's
The doer,
yeah.
the doer thought easily, was correct. The doer thought easily and clearly, and its thoughts were at once exteriorized, that is balanced because there was no attachment to the objects of the thinking. So
Mm.
everything was clear and no attachment. That is what, without attachment, if it is clear, you don't have destiny. The
Correct.
wants of the doer were small, but what it wanted, it called, and that was exteriorized.
So this
See,
is
that
he's
wants-
talking about in the realm of permanence.
Yeah. And that's why he says even the desire, the wants also were very small,
Correct.
and it was immediately exteriorized. So the doer was with its triune self in the light of its intelligence in the interior of the earth.
Correct. Okay. it had no fear.
Had no fear, had all that the body needed, experiencing the world without contamination and acting in the world without losing its light.
Hmm.
This is the perfect triune self. The doer began to think about the things it saw and heard, tasted and smelled, and about its feelings and its desires.
Hmm.
It understood how nature responded to these feelings and desires.
Hmm.
It did not understand the relation that desire had no feeling.
No,
Had to,
Feeling wanted.
no.
had to.
It did not understand the relation that desire
Desire had.
had to feeling.
It did not
How
understand the
desire
relation.
and feeling were connected. It did.
That's what, yeah.
It did not understand that. Hmm.
The relation between the desire and feeling. Yes. So he did not understand the relation that desire had to feeling.
One
Feeling
wanted the
wanted,
other. Yeah.
yeah, feeling wanted desire, desire wanted feeling. Each wanted to be itself and yet be the other. Each wanted to be in the other and have the other in itself.
That
There
means
was a
there was
longing.
oneness, basically.
Hmm.
Hmm.
There was a longing for each other.
Hmm.
This longing, together with the thinking, brought about a change in the perfect two-column body.
Correct. Okay.
There was then a circular path through the two columns, one in the front, the other in the back of the body. For the light from the triune self into the body, from the body into the nature, and back into the body, and thence to the triune self.
So
Feeling
here,
wanted.
if we, here if we draw a human body to represent something,
Vertical. Yes.
right? This is the spherical part is this one. These are the nature side and the intelligent side.
Yes.
The human body. Now, look at it from that perspective and then read this.
There was
There
then
was a circular path. No, you can read this entire thing once again.
Yeah. There was then a circular path through the two columns, one in front, the other in the back of the body. For back of the body, for the light from the triune self into the body, from the body into the nature and back into the body, and thence to the triune self. Feeling wanted and
that entire thing went in a
Yes.
circular manner. Yeah.
Yeah, it is going back and forth.
Sir,
From the
I
nature.
also read somewhere there is a liquid that actually descends on obtaining more of a consciousness or more of a meditation that gradually gets down to Muladhara, and from there again through Kundalini.
That is your Kundalini, sir.
All
Yes.
the chakras. No, but the
That
first
liquid that you are referring to, yeah, that is the Kundalini that is settled at your tip of the coccyx. That is the Kundalini energy.
from
It
the
is
brain.
also in the liquid form, yes.
Which is why when they say, which everyone cannot do that, which is when you take a breath before meditation also, you squeeze from the Muladhara,
Correct.
okay, up to the third, then hold the breath in your head and then squeeze the liquid, right? It gives
Correct.
you, I don't know if you tried it, getting headache at that
No,
point.
you
Hold it for a
actually
minute.
feel it. If you do
Yeah,
blessing
and
the
then
energy center, blessing
Yes,
the
and you
energy
suddenly
center,
result.
yeah,
Yes, you can do that. That is the fluid.
correct.
It is there.
That is
Goes through.
Circular.
Joe Dispenza has that same exercise.
That blessing the energy center is Joe Dispenza's exercise only. He starts at the base and then says perineum and slowly raise your energy to your chest and then to your head. And once it has gone into the head, hold it there and squeeze further. Bring all the energies, including the attention, to the head. Sometimes when you are doing that,
It
you
is
can
still
hear
a
a
circular.
pop sound also when it is in the head.
Yeah. Maybe you can link it up.
Correct.
Is my internet on the screen?
Okay. When the change in the body came, the desire aspect became more pronounced, yet neither of the two columns was affected. And then there went out from the body a form which was not physical. It was an elemental form. The form eventually became female.
Mm.
The feeling went from the doer into the female body, and desire of the doer in the original body, which
He's
had
again
became
taking
male.
us to the first paragraph of the book.
Yeah, I don't know
That
why.
test and
Okay.
separation. No, this is
Yeah.
re-existence, right? He's
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay, feeling went from the doer into the female body, and desire of the doer in the original body, which had become male, sought the complement of itself in that companion body.
Hmm.
The knower and thinker of the triune self allowed the doer to do this, that the doer might learn of itself in nature, and that feeling and desire might adjust themselves to each other. When adjusted, feeling would go back into the two-columned body.
Hmm.
This was the plan and the path.
Correct.
Every sentiment, every movement, every act of desire was at once reenacted by the companion as in a mirror.
Hmm.
The male and the female, yeah.
So this is the next part. That was the
Okay.
doer became active. Now this is the next test that is going on. Yeah.
Feeling and desire felt that they were one.
Hmm.
Indeed, they were one. So initially it was like that. They were one. Indeed, they were one, but they were one within, not without.
Hmm.
Desire continued to look outwardly, and then the doer thought outwardly to the reflection instead of thinking inwardly from it.
Hmm.
See, that's what happening. Desire continued to look
That is
outward.
where the split happened.
That's right. The doer thought outwardly to the reflection instead of thinking inwardly from it. The desire of the doer began to think the other was different from itself, and desire went out strongly to the other. The other craved desire.
Hmm.
From what are now the kidneys, adrenals, and spleen, a radiant fluid went out as the astral matter, which later became the physical female part of the twin body. This is how the separation occurred.
Correct.
Then the triune self warned its doer. It let the doer see that it might learn from its female body all of nature that was not expressed in its own male body.
Hmm.
That must.
How is that happening? See, first it became active. Then it came to the second part where every sentiment, every movement, every act of desire was at once reenacted by the companion as a mirror. That means the companion is the feeling, the other. Right? So how that happened, he has explained here. Now he is explaining, then the triune self warned its doer. It let the doer see what it might learn from its female body, all of nature that was not expressed in its own male body. Okay. Then
that it must pass a trial and test through the sexes, and that its bodies must not consort.
correct.
It was necessary for the doer to learn the relation of the sexes to each other in the human world of change, so that the doer would be able to administer the destinies of the nations of the human world without being influenced by the sexes. This would learn by bringing into balanced union its own desire and feeling in its male and female twin bodies.
Correct.
Doing this was the trial test. But union of desire and feeling, not of the male and female bodies in which desire and feeling were. To allow the union of two bodies
So
would be
Adana,
failure.
this test was the union of the desire and feeling, not of the bodies.
Male and female. Yeah,
not
male
of
and
the
female
body.
bodies.
Correct.
Yes.
Let's go further. To allow union of the two bodies.
So union of two bodies would be failure, as that would sever the two columns. Then it would cause the loss of one of the columns and a loss of light into the nature. So
Correct.
this is what happens.
Correct.
Then it would begin the affliction of its body, which would end with the expulsion from the inner earth in the realm of permanence.
Correct.
So what does he mean, the inner earth?
The realm of permanence. The interior of
This,
the realm
thi-
of permanence is coming
this,
into the physical world.
this, no, this we
Ah,
just discussed earlier also, inner earth. See, the element we talk about in the body is the crust of the, not the inner earth.
Correct.
The real earth at times is called the inner earth.
Correct.
This
ah,
earth is not the matter that we talk about in physical. That's called crust. The this is
okay.
not about the 5 elements.
That is what we read even in the editorial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Therewith would begin that affliction of its body, which would end with expulsion from the inner earth in the realm of permanence.
Hmm.
Then it would not be able to stand in the light, but would thereafter be afraid of it and would lose its vision in the light.
Hmm.
Instead of seeing deathless things in permanence, it would be in an outside world of change, of success and of death, and live in sin and sorrow and occasion sin and sorrow in others.
Hmm.
Blind to the light, it would wander through life and death on the outer earth.
Hmm.
Okay, got it.
Hmm.
It makes sense, yeah.
It would forget
So,
the past.
would forget the past, forget its triune self, and forget the life, except to be afraid of it, until it should regain the state which it then was in the inner earth.
So that means
Among the
when does it come to that state? When it has completed all its cycle and then remerged with its complete triune self. That means it has
Yes.
eliminated the separation.
Complete immortal balanced union.
Correct.
Yes. Among the doers that had come thus far, some took the warning and followed the path that the light showed.
Hmm.
These doers lived in their twin bodies and thus learned all there was of the nature of the human.
Hmm.
Each pair united into one body as soon as feeling and desire were in permanently balanced union.
Hmm.
The triune self was then complete. It had direct light in the 3 atmospheres and lived in its perfect, immortal, sexless physical body, informed about all things by the light of its intelligence.
So this
The
became
doer,
this became those which passed. These
yeah,
became the ones that passed. Yeah.
They
the
keep
doer of
repeating the same information in each chapter.
Hmm. Yeah, that is true.
The doer of such a triune self thus advanced according to the eternal order of progression. Those doers that failed in the trial test thereby exiled themselves from the realm of permanence into the human world of change, of death, and of re-existence in human bodies.
Correct.
Until in due course, they adjust feeling and desire into balanced union when the 3 parts of the triune selves will again be in a perfect, immortal, sexless physical body.
Correct.
Sometimes a doer that had passed the test felt the troubles of the world and asked its thinker and knower that it be allowed to go among mankind to awaken the doers.
Correct.
That doer then became human and took the responsibilities of a human.
Hmm.
It called together those in the world who were the fittest.
Hmm.
It had insight and powers which were made manifest to them, and they gathered around it.
Correct.
Such a great doer come only when the thoughts of many persons converged at the beginning of a cycle.
Correct. Okay. So that is how the entire cycle of the doer going through various stages, etc., happens. Right.
Failing the test, going back and completing.
So now those which have failed, they come to this state. Yeah.
How the fall of a man occurs. Okay.
Correct.
The
Correct.
fall of a man. Fall of a man, that is the doer, changes in the body, death, re-existence in a male or a female body. The doers now on earth, circulation of units through the bodies of humans.
Correct.
The doer that not take that inner path, continue to think of the companion as other than itself.
Correct. Hmm.
So here
As the
is
thing
they're saying
One
about
sec, one sec.
duality, right, sir?
Yeah, no. See, this becomes coming to the physical earth where everything is dual.
Mm.
They start seeing themselves aligned. So, functional loyalty in terms of their function. They are male means male will only think in terms of male. Female will think only in terms of female. All these separations come into play.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then let's go to the next point. Yeah.
As the thinking went on, changes came about in the male body of the desire of the doer and in the female body of the feeling of the doer. These changes made it possible for the bodies to consort. The desire of the doer was reflected in the feeling of the doer, and each attracted and the other until their bodies consorted.
Hmm.
Thereby, doer as feeling and desire, thereby the doer as feeling and desire took the outer path.
So,
Some doers,
doer is equal to both of them together, basically. Both the qualities together.
yeah,
Hmm.
feeling and desire together.
Correct.
So some doers who took the outer path are doers who today live in human bodies on the outer earth crust.
Hmm.
Above the pineal and pituitary bodies were closed because the doer had opened procreative organs below.
Hmm.
With the closing of these inner organs, the eyes became blind to all but human physical things. See, with the closing of inner organs, the eyes became blind to all human but physical things. That is, the inner eye, the third eye got closed.
Correct. Correct.
Light went out through the sexual organs and was lost in nature.
Lost.
Then the
Yeah.
the unused front or nature column of the perfect body was broken and its lower part dwindled away. Okay, the connection between the nature part
Correct.
and intellectual part. Organs among them, the thymus gland atrophied. So, it just became minimal, I think. Right? The nerves of the front cord, which had been used for work with nature, were transferred to run along the spinal column, and there formed the right and left main trunks of what is now the involuntary nervous system, with which are merged the branches of the right and left vagus nerve. Oh, this is how the separation occurred, even the body. So later, the involuntary and voluntary nervous separation occurred.
This one in the Book of Wisdom, he has given a nice diagram.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Other nerves were scattered about and became nerve centers and plexus in the body cavities, and those from the lower part of the broken column became the labyrinth of the intestinal tract.
Hmm.
The arms and legs, which once could move in any direction, became limited in their movements.
Hmm.
Many of them melted away. One half of the double flexible pelvis faded away, and what remained hardened. Wow. These are the changes it happened after separation. Many of the ribs melted away. One half of the double flexible pelvis faded away, and what remained hardened. The pubic bone is all that is left of the lower front part.
Hmm.
The vertebrae of the front column disappeared, and the only signs as vestiges of them are in the sternum.
Yeah, that is what is left. Hmm.
The fourfold body, which had been used for the maintenance of nature, now became dependent upon nature. Oh, before it was not like that. Okay. The body, which had been the servant of the doer, became the master. Most of the time was spent in working for and serving it. So the body completely, which had been the servant of the doer, became the master. The other way. The body became the master. So the
So
body which
one
had been
question here.
Yeah.
It has changed means it was different before
See,
than what it
it-
is.
see, no, you need to look at it this way.
Uh,
When it was a balanced body,
uh,
right? It was balanced. It went through the test, and right when they went through the test, right, they failed,
mm,
right? That gave rise to duality,
mm,
male and female,
mm.
right? So before that, they were one, right?
Mm.
So he is referring to that.
Okay. He's explaining the differences here.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. Okay,
Correct.
got it.
Correct.
that
Correct.
process, what changes occurred, he's explaining.
I got it. Great. Yeah, thank
Okay, the body which had been nourished by matter, taken into it directly from the four elements through the four senses, needed to be nourished by food. See,
So
before
now
it
it
was
has
not like,
become food.
yeah.
Earlier not required as food, now it requires food. Yeah.
This is what Anastasia, if you read the book, she lives in that forest without any food because she has a perfect body for two-column body.
Now you are here, you are getting your,
Yeah.
and then you are moving on to others.
Yes.
The various
The
layers
body,
that are getting formed is now being spoken of.
the body which had been nourished by matter, taken into it directly from the four elements. So before, that's why people were, with the sunlight, they can sustain before. Now it is not like that. So directly from the four elements through the four senses needed to be nourished by food. The food and drink became heavy and coarse and were taken in through the mouth. Much was waste. Only a small part was used to support the body. Food became and has remained the problem of life. What is now the digestive system with its large organs was once a system of nerves through which the transient units came to maintain the body. See how everything so changed. Now most of it became digestive system. Before,
Exactly.
not like. So some of them became the liver, the gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, and stomach when the front column became the bowels. The present circulatory system with the kidneys and adrenals and the bladder became such from a system of fine structures when the present digestive system became gross and adapted to the gross food. Because of the changes, the body also changed.
No.
The
See,
respiratory.
this is the evolution that takes place. See, you broke, then you went through that mineral kingdom, then you went into plant kingdom, then you went into animal kingdom, and at every stage there is a mutation and modification that is taking place.
Yes. The respiratory system was then the thoracic brain. The present generative system exercised its creative function from the brain in the head. So, the doer knew it had done wrong. It knew that it had sinned again itself and it was afraid. It knew division in itself. The doer no longer had communion with the thinker and knower. The doer in the body no longer knew itself as the desire or as the feeling, but sensed itself as the human being. Completely it forgot the desire and feeling.
Yes.
The doer had known no fear because it lived in the light, now feared. So now the
Because
fear
it is
came
in
back.
the darkness, ignorance.
Ignorance, yes. It was obliged to leave the interior of the earth where it had been and joined other doers which had taken the outer path, the path of the death and birth. These doers were separated from their former places and lived together in communities. After the death of the two bodies of the doer, when the doer re-existed, it entered a male or a female body, and in that body, it did not have the power to put forth its counterpart.
Hmm.
It selected a doer in a male or a female body according to the predominance of feeling or desire.
Hmm.
The doer itself has no sex.
Hmm.
It is neither male nor female. It possesses the characteristics nature of both.
Hmm.
Desire is characteristic of a man. Feeling is characteristic of a woman.
Hmm.
If the doer expresses itself as a male, it shows the nature of a man and does the things that men do. The body is masculine.
Hmm.
The female side suppressed in the body of a man. Likewise, in a female body, the male side is suppressed. Some communities,
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Amma.
Yeah.
So here we can understand that we are beyond this body, that whatever lives
Exactly.
outside doesn't fit
Exactly.
in. It's just a portion of it that's splitting here.
Correct.
The statement we can understand that is vast. It cannot be confined in this body. Amazing.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Yes, some communities lived proper lives and remained in the interior. Others deteriorated and were led on towards the outer crust by a search for food suitable to their conditions until they came to the outside world, where were men and women, doers who had fallen long before into the stream of birth and death. At times, the newcomers were superior, at other times inferior to the people on the crust.
That means
At
the
times,
soul levels, the consciousness levels of each soul is going to keep varying.
Different.
That is what is
Hmm.
different grades.
correct.
At times, they started a new cycle of civilization. At other times, they were barbarians who overran a portion of the earth.
Hmm.
At times, they wandered out in tribes through caves. At
Hmm.
other times, they were born out by waters, and the waters filled up the openings through which the tribes had come.
Hmm.
Oh.
That means it is
Nice.
fishness and all that. He is talking about all the correct. Yeah. In
In isolated cases,
cases,
doer came in companion bodies to the outside world as a pair who were not born in the interior earth. What is this? In isolated cases, a doer came in its companion bodies to the outside world as a pair who
so
were
if
not
we
born.
read further, we will be able to understand what it means.
The bodies of the pair were different from those around.
Hmm.
Their bodies were superior in form, not subjected to disease or fatigue.
Hmm.
There was a beauty, freshness, and liveliness about them that was distinctive. Because these people were enlightened already,
Exactly.
their hair was as different from that of the people as is human hair from hemp.
Hmm.
Let's
Hemp
go
is
down.
grass, right?
Huh?
Hemp means grass.
Hemp
It's
is
kind
this
of
one. Mendi.
Okay.
Mendi.
Okay.
What do you call Mendi?
So they sell hemp seeds.
Yeah.
The doer had a vague memory of the light, its intelligence, and of more immortality, justice, and happiness, ideas it had been conscious of when with its thinker and knower. So these people are enlightened. I mean, some
No.
enlightenment is there.
The doer had a vague memory of light.
Some memory, yeah.
And
Yeah.
of immortality, justice, and happiness.
Yes.
Ideas it had been conscious of when its thinker and knower. When with
So
its
it can't.
thinker and knower. Before it separated, it had all that.
Yeah, correct. Okay, sometimes it hold the people about that world from which it came and used the sun as a symbol for the light in which it had dwelt.
Hmm.
Sometimes the people believed it came from the sun. So original solar dynasties may have been founded. Oh, okay. This is how the solar
Now,
dynasty
this is all the
probably-
evolution of various races and all that he is explaining, which
Okay,
is very
got it.
well explained in the first principles of theosophy.
Remember, even yesterday or the other previous class, we were talking. It's
Correct,
believed that all of us came from the Sun dynasty. This
correct,
is what it means.
correct.
Hmm. Yeah. The doer did not know it had created its companion by dividing itself, but the two came together into the world and they felt that they were brother and sisters as well as husband and wife.
Hmm.
The sense of marriage between a divine brother and sister, as of Isis and Osiris, and the corresponding Osiris,
Yeah.
and the corresponding human customs may have originated in the appearance of such a pair. These legends are as distorted as are those of Jesus and of Adam, but there is a fact of human experience underlying each of them.
Correct. Okay. Okay, let's go for
Every doer
Sir, I think here it is also a reference to our Hindu scriptures like Swayambhu Vishnu or Swayambhu Manu splits himself into a female form called Hriva. Hriva. So they coupled together to give rise to seven Vasus or somebody, and then
Rishi.
the
Yeah.
and then comes the Prajapati and all those people as a grandson for Swayambhu Manu.
yeah.
So those are seven Manus that control the population. I think Prajapati has been allocated or coerced into marrying 68 ladies, produced more than hundreds of people at that time.
I mean, those are all basically legends. We don't know the.
We
Yeah.
don't know
No,
the.
no.
Yeah,
There may be
but that-
no, there may be legends, there may be stories, but what he says is correct. The
Yeah.
idea, the concept, say,
The concept,
put them in the form of
conceptually, that is what is the
That's correct.
propagation of species. That's what he's meaning. Correct.
No, the reason I'm talking about is that he referred Christ as a reference point. Christ and
Correct.
Eve,
No, because he is Christian, he has taken
Adam and
the example.
that's right. So I'm referring even earlier we had the same
yes,
concept.
yes.
Correct, correct.
Swayambhu
Correct.
Manu is the first person who split himself. I mean, what he is explaining also the same thing, that the man has a split into a man and woman just by the fact that the desire and the feeling, and they are separated.
Correct, correct. No, no.
So
dispute on
that
that.
I'm trying to say that even earlier to Christ, because people existed. It's not Adam and Eve that existed long, long time ago. Maybe Hriva probably refers to the same thing as Eve again. We don't know.
सर पर्सिवल को नहीं पता ना, उसने तो अपना लाइफ जीसस के साथ शुरू किया ना, उससे पहले उसको नहीं पता।
No,
सही है।
उसको
हम
पता
हिंदू
है.
हैं, हमें पता
No,
है।
no, he has referred to Vedas and all that. He himself in his editorials
Studied.
gives you some indication of that.
Yeah, yeah.
he mentioned he read the Gita, Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even Patanjali Sutras also he read.
Correct,
He
correct.
says about it. But
Yeah.
my thinking is, my perspective is totally here different than all of you. If you scroll little bit up, it says husband and wife, sister and brother. Nothing. There's no relation here. It's
No, madam, it is true actually, because
Come,
even
yeah.
I think what is that, Persian or no?
Romans did that.
No, in the my memory is unable to recall. I think the history shows that brother and sister were married
Yeah.
for
Egypt.
generations together in order to keep their blood
No, no.
pure.
But particularly in Egypt.
Some relation.
Egypt, yes.
Pharaohs.
Yeah,
Egyptian,
that's right.
Pharaohs, the pharaohs.
In some
Correct.
Yes,
religion,
the
Kings
pharaohs.
and queens did that. Romans did it, and
So
The
it is
pharaohs
not,
in particular.
Romans.
not very long ago that we need to refer to
Sir,
Bible.
even today, in certain religions, marrying in the paternal side is permitted, not in the maternal side.
Yes, sir, but
In
not
some
brother and
religions,
sister.
in some religions, maternal side is not permitted. In some maternal side is permitted, but not in the paternal side. So
Yeah.
all those complications exist even today.
No, no.
Mm.
My perspective, what I'm saying is what we feel, love in humans or attachments between
That is
brother
moral.
sisters,
No, you are bringing
bonding and
in
all.
morals. At the spiritual level, there is nothing like morals.
That's what
Those
it's like
morals were set up by
totally
society.
Vairagya here.
No. See, you're talking about morals which are designed by society for
Correct.
stability of a society,
Mm,
right? Morals comes from the word more. More means what? Rules.
mm,
Rules of, and each society has its own mores, and
Correct.
that's how
mm,
morals come in.
mm,
Don't confuse it with ethics. Ethics are a very different thing, which you're
Correct.
not
mm,
talking about.
mm,
See,
So these are morals, so it is depending on that particular society.
Correct.
Jagdish sir, the morals also have come out for the welfare of the individual
Society,
and the sustenance of
I
the
mean,
society as a whole.
exactly, correct.
interpretations
That's
could vary.
correct.
Yeah, right. No, but
So
there is a
that's why
rule,
different societies had different morals, mainly
right?
because of this.
But in
Each one thought is
India,
correct.
most of India or all of India, I think, follow Sagotris cannot be married.
No, sir.
That
Not
that may be
most of
true.
India. That is again the religious practices. For example, if you take Islam, they marry the paternal side, not the maternal side. No, paternal side, they don't
The
have the
other way around.
classification of Gotra. They have got an equivalent of Gotra, but that is
They
permitted.
have.
They have.
They have.
Even during the Mughals' time also it was the same case. They used to marry the
Yeah.
paternal cousins.
Right. Okay. Let's go
Oh.
for it. Every doer.
Yeah, that okay. Oh, every doer. Oh, the legends of marriage between a divine brother. Yeah, we finished. Every doer now on earth has been re-existing as a human being ever since the time it fell and had to leave its companion bodies at their death.
Hmm.
The vast majority of doers came in and belong to the present fourth civilization, which began millions of years ago on this earth.
No. This became this present fourth civilization.
Yeah, it belongs to this present fourth civilization. Yes. So we are, according to him, we are in the fourth
Kali
civilization.
Yuga, that
Four
Kali
races
Yuga,
have already
that's what he's
gone.
saying.
No, four races have already gone.
Yeah,
The Atlantean
that's why he said,
civilization and then the Lemurian civilization, etc. They have already completed. We belong
my
to,
answer.
yeah, Mayans also. Yes.
The vast majority of the doers came in. Yeah. However, some doers have been re-existing since the third, and some even since the second and the first civilizations. Oh my God! So they keep on coming since then.
Correct. No,
From
they have been coming, right? And that is what that Stefano di, what is his name, who comes in Gaia? Matthias. Stefano
This is
Matthias.
the
He says, I don't belong
Matthias,
to this.
yeah.
I am from the
different
Atlantean
ideas.
civilization.
He is an alien, yeah.
And we are a number of people who are already there governing this progression of the universe and so on. So that's what he's saying.
So
And
the
also
reason
for-
to come is that because they didn't finish these 35 lessons, or is it some?
No, beyond the 35 lessons, what do? You come for upgrading the entire society, right?
yeah.
Okay.
See, like Patriji said, he is the Maitreya Buddha from so many years ago. He came back.
Correct.
But he's saying first yuga, from first and second, third and yuga, also people are here.
That's what he's
Those-
explaining further. No, read the last point. These are
Among the doers.
No, this one. We are not at
I'm sorry. Yeah, these are old travelers who have had many ups and downs and have each cycled through wealth and poverty, prominence and obscurity, health and disease, honor and shame, culture and crudeness, in short lives and long lives, and most have made little progress in untold millions of years. Oh my God. So these are not enlightened. So they keep on coming to learn and more and more.
No, some of them are like that. Some of them.
Yeah. World travelers. That's why he said world travelers, some of them.
Some of them taking their sweet little time to learn each lesson.
Right. No, they are making mistakes.
That even in soul speaking that we just had a glimpse of it, it says that after reaching a particular stage, you create your own
Game.
issues for learning more and more.
Exactly.
That is, some people
Mm.
do that.
So
Some
that
of
has
course,
now come up to 12 dimensions of separation.
right.
See,
So
in
it
light
explained there.
body, we learned about 12 separations.
Okay.
The
In
essence
light
of
body.
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
These are various reflections of the same point, that structure, that game,
Yeah.
that separation, Earth being a participant in that separation game. All these things are the same thing getting repeated so that our understanding becomes vaster. Yeah.
As we ascend, I think it becomes more and more complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. Among the doers, some earned their freedom and passed on. The majority keep on the treadmill of life and death, repeat their experiences and learn little or nothing while they are issuing thoughts and weaving destiny. So we keep saying a lot of people they learn nothing or little.
Some of them
They
are
keep-
ascending, lot of them are repeating.
These
Yeah.
are different levels of soul, no?
Correct.
Talk of
That's
different
what,
levels.
that's what. Yeah.
So the re-existing portions of some doers got into a condition where they lost so much light that the triune self withdrew the light from the embodied portion. And those doer portions were lost. That is, they are in darkness and their re-existences are suspended. Oh my God, their re-existences are suspended
No,
completely.
there are that kind of suspended souls also, no? See, if you read the Paramahamsa Yogananda's autobiography, when he is Yukteswar Giri, when he is explaining the astral plane, he says there are so many souls hanging here. They don't know where to go.
So those are the forces they are around on the earth going.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then they latch on to somebody. Those are the unwanted attachments
Influences.
that we have, which we are slowly using Babaji's meditation theme to let
back
them
to-
go. You're
yeah.
sending them back. Yeah.
Yes, sending back. In some bodies that appear to be inhabited, there are no doers.
Okay.
How can that it be in some bodies that appear to be inhabited, there are
They
no
appear
doers?
to be there, but there are no doers. That means they are just there.
No light of intelligence at all. Which means.
Yeah. But then I think we will start from here in the next class again.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is interesting.
Both these books are interesting now.
But the way it is explained in a spiral mode.
Yeah.
So he keeps going back and forth, and he keeps going back and then teaches little bit, something new, and goes back and come back and teaches something new.
Correct.
Whatever he has visualized, he has written them as various editorials, and then he has put all that together here in the book. Yeah. Right, Deepika? So that is where we are. Okay.
One question, Chandra sir, going forward, are we going to be at 11:30 or 10:30? Just
No,
want to
it will
confirm
be
for every of us.
here because it will go too late for me. We are taking India time as the reference. 9 o'clock India time is what we do. If at all people want, we can move it up by about half an hour, not more. Because our dinner and all those things happen.
Normally 8:30 I'll come home around later in the evening.
Correct.
I've gone out.
Correct.
So
So
9 seems to be correct
9
for me.
seems to be the right time that we start.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, sir. It's your convenience. Whether it is 8:30 or 9, it shouldn't make much of a difference because it's a Saturday and Sunday.
Correct.
Most of the people in United States at least has got a daytime.
Yeah.
There should not be any issues there.
So till
for-
next Sunday, I will not be available.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Okay.
about
Sorry.
Saturday?
Entire week, Saturday I will not be there.
So both Saturday and Sunday next week there are no sessions.
Sunday there may be. I will let you know on Saturday. So Saturday evenings, your evening session will probably be there because that will be Sunday morning for me.
Yeah, next Saturday I'm not available because we have this Omega Pyramid, Alpha Pyramid foundation stone ceremony.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Is it in Houston?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. Yeah.
So in Houston, there is a mini Dhyana Chakra
I think so, yeah,
happening.
but that I think is today.
Probably. Yes, correct.
Today.
This today.
Yeah, it's
But
gone.
next Saturday, we have this foundation stone
Right.
for construction.
Yeah, that's why I was asking when you said next week, then I thought, is it Houston? No,
No.
I'm right. Today is Houston's, yeah.
So we can
Yeah,
have
next
a bit of gossip.